Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy D2K Inu, and today is going to be a bit of a longer video because I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the state of Modern Warfare. But before we get into this video, I wanted to ask you guys if I should change my YouTube channel name. I just feel that it's a bit hard to find my channel with my current name, and I was thinking about changing it to something dealing with my actual real name. For those of you who don't know, my name is Nigel, but my name spelled backwards is Legend. So if you have any cool ideas about how to incorporate Legend with a cool or catchy channel name, let me know down in the comments. Also, one last thing before I go on my rant is that I've realized that my live comms or even voiceovers in the past have been pretty dry and boring. So what I'm going to try to start doing is incorporating more energy into my videos. But enough with all of that. Let's get into my thoughts about Modern Warfare. So guys, in the background, you're watching some gameplay of my last nuke in Black Ops 4. Now the reason why I'm showing you this is mostly for comparison between my playstyles in Black Ops 4 and Modern Warfare, and just the overall pace of the game. So the main three topics I'll be going over are really kind of a consensus of the majority of the community, which are bad maps, footsteps, and camping. So let's just get right into it. So guys, since the beginning, there's been a common thing among all the Call of Duty titles dealing with maps, and most, if not all, were 3-lane maps. With 3-lane maps, it kept the game more fluid because there was a pattern and a level of predictability in the game that a player could learn. Like for example, you could look at the mini-map and see where your teammates were, so you knew that on the opposite side of the map across from your team, that was where the enemies were spawning. That's not a thing in this game. But on the subject of the mini-map, why did they change the mini-map? Like, you can't even see the enemies when they shoot. Like, why fix something that's not broken? Like, what are you doing? And then they wanted to add a compass, which is completely irrelevant, and no one uses it. And that just all stems back to the map design. Think about this, guys. There are too many routes and too many lines of sight. At any given moment, there can be a guy in front of you, to the right, to the left, up top, in the windows to the right, in the windows to the left, and all over the place. No one can cover all of those lines of sight in those places at one time, which causes indecisiveness and camping. Literally, Infinity Ward took out all the predictability and patterns to the game. When something is predictable, the ones who can understand it and use their brain can rise to the top. Call of Duty used to be about who can react faster and hand-eye coordination and outplaying your opponent because you thought about a situation better than the other person, or you just have better gun skill. But with Modern Warfare, that all goes out the window. There is literally no gun skill. Like, first off, I can't even see people. So how can I shoot something that I can't see? On top of that, the time to kill is so fast and the headshot multiplier is stupidly high. This literally causes a campy playstyle because you die so fast. So now, people will just sit in a room with a claymore and pre-aim your head. Like, for real, bro? I'm like, that has never been a viable way to play Call of Duty. You always want to aim center mass because it's easier to hit your target. Like, come on. Modern Warfare doesn't even feel or play like a Call of Duty. It plays and feels more like a freaking Battlefield. Like, no one in the community wanted a Modern Warfare Battlefield. They are reinventing the wheel with things that no one asked for. They reinvented the maps with too many routes, too many lines of sight, and too much verticality, and you die so fast. And the sound whoring is stupid loud, and character visibility is stupidly low, which caters to a slow and non-moving play style. Honestly, I shouldn't even be saying this because they have been making Call of Duty titles for over 15 years. But like, you should know what a COD game should feel like and what the community wants, but no. Like, who really tested this game? I feel like no one even played this game before the beta to even see if it played like a normal Call of Duty. Listen, I work at EA Games on the Apex project, and that's all I can tell you. But I feel like having your quality assurance testers is great and all to find bugs and whatever else. But I feel like you need people who on a yearly and a daily basis grind out the game to come and work for you and play the game very early to give you constructive criticism about it. I mean, I've been playing Call of Duty since Black Ops 1, so I'm pretty sure I have a pretty good grasp on how Call of Duty should feel and play out. I would say hire like 100 people and make them sign NDAs and test your game like 8 months to a year early and listen to their feedback, because they are a representation of the community, which is us, and know what the community wants in a Call of Duty title. Like, do the developers even play their own game? Now, I'm not gonna say everything is all bad in this game. Like, they did make some cool new additions to the game, like the gunsmith and all the weapon customizations with the attachments and everything. But literally, if you go into a private match and look at all the attachments and their pros and cons, the higher up in the weapon levels that you go, the more they nerf your movement. They nerf the ADS speed and recoil stability and walking movement, and it's just like they want to punish good players or players that rush and are aggressive. But according to the multiplayer design director Joe Seacott, they wanted to make all play styles viable. But with the way the current game plays, who benefits from this? How can new players so-called get better at the game when all they do is sit in corners with a claymore and camp? Now, what else really bothers me about this is that they can use ghosts. Like, in any past Call of Duty, you had to be moving in order for ghosts to work and to not be detected by UAVs. But in this game, you could just stay in one spot and you will not show up on the minimap. But what happens when the new COD comes out though? And it's fast paced. Like, I'm pretty sure you ain't think about that. Like, I just don't get it. Like, the game is already slow enough and the maps are already the size of California. And not only that, you have 6v6 and 10v10. Like, that's actually going to help and do something with these giant maps. I just recently did a video on leaked DLC maps and updates to the game last week, and I'll link it down in the description. I think having new maps is all good, but to bring back so many old maps in a DLC from past Call of Duties is just ridiculous. Like, we have already seen them and played these maps before, and I get that some or most of these maps will make the gameplay a little faster, but it's like you're bringing out old maps to save your new game. Just make better maps. I mean, it's just that simple. I also have seen a lot of people on Reddit talking about how the COD community is never satisfied and always complaining. But the thing is, and if you really think about this, if you buy something and you don't end up liking it, it's not your fault. It's the company's. Like, guys, in past Call of Duties, I love playing TDM. And people now are saying, don't play TDM. Play Dom, or play Free-for-All, or play Headquarters. But the thing is, if you go back to COD 4, and I did some research to find this, but if you go back to COD 4 and all the way up to Black Ops 3, they showed the player count in each playlist. And what was the most played playlist? It wasn't Free-for-All, or Dom, or S&D, or Headquarters. It was TDM. And if the majority of the player base plays TDM and it's bad, then what does that mean? That means that the players are not going to play your game. So one of my friends brought it to my attention and told me that they think that it would be a good idea if the Call of Duty franchise would stop bringing out games every year and do it like every other year or every 3 years. And at first I was against it, but then I thought about it, because when I think back to past Call of Duties, after Black Ops 3, I mean, to me, in my opinion, they have been pretty trash. And instead of producing quality over quantity, they do the exact opposite. They do quantity over quality. And that just ain't right. Like, Black Ops 3 was being played 3 years after its launch. And I believe it will be one of the more, if not the most memorable Call of Duties in my opinion. Like, if you ask anyone who has been playing Call of Duty for 6+ years what games they would want remastered or brought back, I'm pretty sure a lot of them would say the same things. Like, remake Black Ops 1, remake Black Ops 2, remake Modern Warfare 2, remake Modern Warfare 3. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but those games have done something to the community to make them more memorable and favored. And then a lot of people are also saying you have to slow down, play tactically, and adapt your play style. But the thing is, why do I have to adapt to a play style that's less skilled than moving around, where I have to camp the whole time and sound whore? Like, personally, I have built my play style over the course of 9 years since Black Ops 1. And now all of a sudden, because you want to cater to new players and make the camping play style a viable strategy, now I have to change my whole play style. Like, let me ask you to stop writing with your right hand and start writing with your left. You would look at me like, why and what the hell? But that's literally what this game is forcing us to do. But if you haven't noticed, that's what Call of Duty has been doing and changing over the past couple of years. Like, if I'm a skilled player and can be decisive, why do I have to play slow or get BS for it? I should be getting rewarded. Like, think about Black Ops 4. And I only keep bringing up Black Ops 4 because it's the most recent Call of Duty. But if you were a good player and you could cycle streaks and do well, they literally nerfed you by putting the Specialist Zero in the game, who could hack your score streaks with her specialist ability. And the thing is that you could earn her ability without even getting a kill. I mean, if this isn't a perfect example of rewarding bad players and nerfing good players, I don't know what it is. And now, in Modern Warfare, they changed the score streaks to kill streaks. And yes, I know they have a perk in the game called Point Man to make kill streak score streaks or whatever. But the thing is that you can't even overlap your streaks. Like, guys, with the way Modern Warfare is right now, it's so boring to play. Like, in past Call of Duties, it didn't take forever to finish a game. But in this game, the game will end. Like, you will hit the time limit before you even get to the score limit. Like, Call of Duty is supposed to be a Twitch, fast-paced arcade shooter. And that's how it should stay, in my opinion. I mean, if you want to be tactical, go play Battlefield. Go play something else. But a fast-paced arcade shooter is what makes a Call of Duty a Call of Duty. So, I have friends that ask me if they should buy this game after I pretty much rant to them like I just did in this video. And honestly, I tell them that this isn't like any other Call of Duty that they have played in the past. I mean, honestly, in the beginning, I told them no, and that I wish I didn't buy the game. But the game has grown on me a little more. But this game has a lot of things that needs to be fixed. But guys, that's it for today's video. Drop a like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you think about the current state of Modern Warfare. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.